Lovely welcome to this next transmission of the Chinkies, the work and the system, and this time it's the 16th Chinky, and it's a very special one because it's about mastery and versatility at the gift level, and in the shadow frequency level it's about indifference. And the programming partner of this is the 9th Chinky. I will put it there like always. The psychology is parasceroid. We'll also have a short picture of that, you know what it is. And in this 16th Chinky, the codon ring is the ring of prosperity together with like the 45th Chinky. So it's really about to prosper in life, to have wealth, to have a happy life, to have a good balance in everything together. And the shadow indifference is a very, very big topic, and the shadow is preventing us from having this prosper life, and this is very big. So as always, I read some extracts from the book and then also put some own experiences in and talk about belief systems like always. So it's written here for this Chinky, the diffusion of responsibility. So it's really about responsibilities in life also. At the shadow frequency, one of the most powerful and pervasive forces that keep you from perceiving a higher reality is indifference. As long as you are indifferent, you can't ever be different. Makes a lot of sense. As an aspect of the codon ring of prosperity, the 16th Chinky is about excellence. To prosper truly in a world is to find the one thing in life at which you excel above all others. This is the true destiny of every human being, but to bring this dream to fruition, you must first step out of the shadow and take the risk of being different. So, for example, for me, like I have been living my whole life in Germany, and then I did the move to go here to Cyprus and have a life here and just have a different aspect of life and step out and jump into the water and see what's up here in Cyprus for me and whether this is fitting or not. As long as you are focused on the inessential, you will be indifferent to the things in life that really matter. The Holocaust survivor and writer Elie Wiesel had the following to say about this subject. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. That's very something to deeply contemplate about. Such a nice saying about a kind of trinity way of thinking. Indifference is an energy field created by all the human beings on this planet who are not doing what they would really love to be doing. The only reason for this state is fear. So people is like in the state of fear and like, I cannot be different because when I'm different, people don't love me anymore. I will be not worthy. I will have a lot of trouble. It's all about these patterns inside that convince us to tell that we should just stay the same than everyone else in a way and not be our individual crystal of consciousness. And then we're really just same, and we are not bringing the light into our life. One of the primary excuses human beings use for not doing what they truly want in life is the excuse that they don't have enough time. It's also about that they don't have enough time. And this habit of making yourself a victim of time is the core escape strategy of the 16th shadow. But time actually has nothing to do with it. You have become a victim of your mind rather than of time. Time itself is as fluid as water, and as the 17th and 5th and 52 Jinkies testify, it can be bent, shortened, twisted, lengthened, and even stopped. So the moment you take a stand and begin to follow your dreams, time becomes your ally rather than your enemy, automatically adapting itself to fit your needs. Very deep. This 16th shadow can be absolutely full of plans and good intentions about the world, but they rarely get off the ground. This is the shadow of the pipe dream, the delusion that your dreams will one day manifest without you ever actually having to initiate them. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, there's nothing to say about this, right? Yeah. It is not enough to daydream and plan how you might save the world. You have to actually begin the work. The other major excuse of those under the spell of the shadow is, I am not ready yet. Again, this excuse is based on the false notion of time. The truth is that you are always ready. You are ready right now. If you keep postponing your dreams, they will always remain dreams. Very interesting. For me, it's also another kind of fear or like a belief that convinces us is the belief of we have to do it perfect and we have to prevent doing mistakes, or we should not fail doing something. It's also very strong that is connected about this postponing our dreams and take a step and act. The 16th shadow creates experts, where the 16th Siddhi creates masters. To be an expert is to remain indifferent and unenthused, because once enthusiasm has been unleashed, skill gives ways to something far more magical. It opens up the amazing gift of versatility. It's really like you are versatile in your expression, you adapt very quickly, you still keep your same fundamental and your definitions, your values. At the same time, you can see it like this is your values, your foundation. And when people enter your life or you have some experience in life, you are able to go around this circle and stretch it a bit out and always come back to the foundation. So that's how I see it. Let's go to the repressive side. The repressive nature is gullible. I will get it here. I never heard this word before. I have to be honest. Gullible, okay. I will see now what it exactly means also. When indifference is repressed, it manifests in gullibility. These people become victims of the mass propaganda of the collective. An example here is people who use the excuse that if governments cannot help the world situation, how can they? This gullibility essentially allows people to hide their indifference between the indifference of others. Okay, so it's that about. Understandable, make a lot of people do that. The reactive nature is always the projecting outside, more aggressive, and this is self-deluded. And these people hide their fears in their obsession with structure, systems, and techniques. They become so deeply identified with the structures their minds are following that they forget about the reason for the structure in the first place. This gives rise to a deep self-delusion in which these people build a powerful mental wall against themselves, keeping the world and others locked out. In a certain sense, these people are also gullible, like the repressive nature, but their gullibility concerns their own propaganda rather than anyone else. I see this a lot now with like the the kind of propaganda, the fear propaganda that goes around worldwide, where we say, look, this certain people, you know who I'm talking about, they do some very bad stuff, and we always, we point the finger on them and they're like, oh, look, if they don't change, like nothing happen. Probably when you watch this, you are not a person that is like this, in a way, too much anymore. Because for me, it goes really already in this gift and higher siddhi level, and I'm not much into these talks because it's all confusion, distraction from who we really are already. So let's go to the gift, versatility. A talent for sustainability. Indifference simply arises because the mass consciousness does not yet see its own true nature. That is, it doesn't yet realize itself as a holistic entity. However, our new awareness will enable us to identify as a single consciousness. So it's really like also to sometimes have a pause and to realize that we are like this, there's more like that, we are these holistic beings and everything is connected. You are connected with me, I'm connected with you. Somehow you get into the reality when you watch this with me together, what I'm talking here about from the Gene Keys. So yeah. And whilst still a bit shadow talk also to get an understanding between indifference and the versatility, whilst at the shadow frequency your skills actually trap you, here at the gift frequency they become a ladder into the true self. At the shadow level, the focus is on the skill or the technique itself, whereas at the gift level, skill serves only one purpose, to act as a bridge to higher state of consciousness, and that's really, really important, to higher states of consciousness. Really a bridge, like what I'm also talking about is like the permission slips. That this is like each skill and tool and everything is like a permission slip to express more of the consciousness you already are. Versatility is not a skill, it is a state of frequency that can use a skill without being fully identified with it. This is the level at which skill becomes talent. Talent happens when certain skill has been mastered. With talent, you no longer have to think about the skill and the whole new world opens up to you. We all know kind of this. At least in some parts we have like this kind of versatility. At the same time it's like a more indifferent version, because we adapt to all of the other people that do the same. So we just adapt to what others also do, and that is when we are indifferent. And versatility is really when we live our own soul's purpose and we know our consciousness crystal, our essence, and we express this into the world. No matter what your personal genetic makeup, if you can operate at this level of frequency, you can draw upon any of the 64 gifts through the morphogenetic field that links all states of the same frequency together. This is the true meaning of the 16th gift. It is the ability to tune into any gift you need and make use of that gift. That is true versatility. So it doesn't matter really if it's strength, the 34 Gene Key, or commitment, the 29, or enrichment, the 56 Gene Key. Like this Gene Key can or has the ability, when you are in the versatility, that you are able to express all of this other consciousness also. That in a way help you and others to express more of who we are or who you are already. And Leonardo da Vinci is a good example of a man who displayed this versatile ability to move between the arts and the science with great ease. A true genius rarely restricts him or herself to a single branch, because that would limit their gift. The great joy of versatility is to spread your wings as widely as possible. So exactly the opposite, paradoxically, what people often say, that you have to be an expert in something, to be like in one direction expert. So this is a bit paradoxically, like it's like, yeah, we are kind of an expert also, but like also a mastery, goes to mastery. And is a mixture of an expansion and also contraction, kind of. True prosperity is brought about people following their genius whilst working together collectively. So it's really like nature. Everyone has their individual skill and everyone is like together. It gets like this whole piece in the puzzle. Like the pieces in the puzzle, they all get together and then you have the whole puzzle, the whole picture, and that's how it's like working. We go now to the city. The miracle city. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mastery. So let's go to the city, the mastery of the 16th. Really crazy city and a very, very special. So it's written here, at the Siddhic level, a paradox open up before us. We have gone from lack of identification at the shadow level to identification with a skill as you approach the gift level, and then a loosening of that identification in order that you become truly versatile. At the Siddhic level, the issue of identifying with what you are doing is no longer relevant. At this high-end level of consciousness, your identity is erased and you become an empty vessel of life. Seems a bit scary. It's like, it's paradoxically like a Siddhic state. Yeah, that's what this all is about. However, with the 16th city of mastery, the whole game of expanding or evolving either horizontally or vertically is over. The 16th city is a relatively rare expression in the world because it encompasses what some would call magical abilities. Yeah, like flying, like gravity, like other things, like manifesting something that was not physically there before, that could be considered, or like also healing some vital wounds, or like some infections or something. All of this could be considered, in a sense, magical abilities also. So the implications of this are really quite staggering. Consider an example from the field of music. Rachmaninoff's third piano concerto is considered one of the most difficult and averse pieces of Western classical music in existence. To learn to play this piece of music takes years of sustained practice and discipline, even if you have genius talent. However, the kinesthetic knowledge of how to play this piece is actually already contained in every single human being alive. The 16th city allows direct access to this and all other kinesthetics knowledge, which means that if the 16th city is activated, you could play this piece of music as well as any piano maestro would ever lived without ever having touched the piano in your life. Could you imagine that? This is very crazy and magical. So this is like really this, it can tap into all other cities and gifts and everything. So the special powers of the 16th city have only one purpose: to be of service to the whole, even if that manifests as a form of cosmic entertainment. True mastery is to have absolutely no individual power whatsoever. It is to merge with the divine will and therefore become a master of nothingness. This is the ultimate theater. This is the ultimate theater and the highest of all arts, and at the same time it has the incredible power of pulling humanity out of its indifference. A very special Chinky, the 16th. Definitely you should have a deeper contemplation and look at this, especially like, I mean, the mastery, the Siddhi is probably not so present for the most of us. However, like especially the gift and the shadow of indifference and also the gift of versatility, they really are present collectively in all humanity, in all humans, in different areas. And so this is also something that prevents you from living your soul's purpose, the purpose you gave yourself as a individuated part of soul when you came here. And when you are indifferent, you don't know what your purpose here is. That's very important to know. Thank you very much for watching this transmission again. Thumbs up whenever you like the video, like always. Also hit the subscribe button, and also there should go the next videos online. And unconditional love from my side and gratitude. Thank you for that you are watching it until here. You're Dominic. See you next time. Bye bye.